Alright, what's going on y'all today? Are y'all happy because of the win last night? Yes? Okay, let me tell you something. I have a bunch of news very interesting for y'all. Just because it's not only the win of Real Madrid, it's not only the qualification for the next round, it's also about the players. It was just amazing how these young players are doing such a great job scoring goals, assisting, and in the case of Marco Asensio, he's changing everything, which is great because 1 week ago, a couple of weeks ago, maybe 1 month ago, we didn't know where the player was going to go, right? It was like this guy's completely lost, but once his renewal was announced, this guy has changed, I think, forever, right? And the game he did last night, I mean, that performance, man, that was awesome. That was just great. But it's not only that what I have to talk about. So let's go to my Twitter account. If you're not following already, if you're not following me yet, man, just go there, JOTA and follow me. Okay, it's very important because I normally retweet a lot of tweets in English, so you will understand. You shouldn't have any problem. And follow me, guys. It's very important. Okay, so the first story I have for y'all guys is about this guy, and this guy has an impossible name to pronounce because it's Camiseta. Okay, whatever it is. The Napolis player has confessed that everybody he wants to win the Champions League with Real Madrid. As you know, over the last weeks, I think they've been rumoring and speculating with the guy, with the possibility for the guy to become a Real Madrid player, and Real Madrid possible interest, right, in the player because he's great, right? Well, the guy said that. It wasn't me, man. He said he wants to win the Champions League with Real Madrid. My biggest dream, quote here, my biggest dream is to win the Champions League. Journalists ask, in which team? And he responds, with Real Madrid. Since I was a kid, I'm a Real Madrid fan. With my brothers, we were always watching their games. So to me, that's pretty clear, man. The only problem apparently is Napoli won't like this thing. I mean, if Napoli suspects Real Madrid is chasing the guy, they will ask a ton of money. I mean, I still don't have any information about that. I will have to ask to Edu Cornago or Jose Felix Diaz about it, but my opinion is Real Madrid is not following this guy, is not tracking this guy, because I think that we have players enough in every single different position, right? But you never know. I mean, the guy really wants to play for Real Madrid. He's great. He's doing a great performances. He's doing a great job. He's doing a great season. So just because of that, the big teams will be keeping an eye on him. So let's see what happens, okay? Now, more stuff regarding this time to Kylian Mbappe and Ibrahimovic, right? Ibrahimovic was interviewed last night and he said something about Kylian Mbappe and his not signing for Real Madrid. Ibrahimovic said, Mbappe has lost his discipline. I mean, this is not the whole quote, right? I'm bringing it over here. Mbappe has lost all his identity, his discipline, and he didn't make the right decision for his career by staying at PSG. So to me, it's pretty clear, and for Ibrahimovic as well, and for everybody else, right? I mean, we all agree the player made, in my opinion, the silliest decision ever made, right? Staying at PSG because he got and he had every single thing to succeed in Real Madrid, and on the other hand, he preferred to stay in PSG where he's not going to succeed at all because PSG is not ready to win the Champions or any other big trophy. I mean, other than the domestic league, right? Other than the French league. So my opinion is that probably you will earn more money, way more money, right? Versus if you go to Real Madrid. But the problem is, football-wise, right? Trophy-wise, statistic-wise, it's not gonna be that great, right? So unless you go to another team, like a big team with a lot of history, like Real Madrid or say for example Liverpool or say for example Manchester City, you're not gonna get anything. I mean, out of the French league. So I'm so sorry to be that hard, but it is true. And now, of course, we have to talk about the game last night, because the game left a bunch of conclusions I wanted to share with y'all, right? So for example, the game was just incredible. The first thing we have to say, of course, it wasn't against a big team, right? A big rival or something like that. That's true. Against Celtic de Glasgow, everything seemed really easy. But let me tell you something. Carlo Ancelotti during the whole week told the players not to be overconfident, right? About what could happen in this game. Because as you know, in the Champions, every single thing is different. So if we wanted to qualify as the first ones in the group stage, the first thing we had to do, it was to win this game. And we did it. So that was mission accomplished, right? And it's not only we won, right? It is also the way we did it, right? With a lot of players, I mean, performing at a top level, I mean an incredible level. I'm talking about Vinicius Jr., I'm talking about Rodrigo Goes, I'm talking about Fede Valverde, I'm talking about Asensio. I mean, he changed everything, right? He changed everything. The way he played last night, man, it was a long time ago without seeing that performance from Marco Asensio. He was the kind of guy who used to came on to the pitch from the bench. I mean, trying to perform at his best, right? Trying things, scoring goals, but not convincing everybody he has to be there every time, right? Last night it was a completely different story, because what we saw, it was a player, I mean, looking forward to eat the whole world, right? To be the best version he can be. And in my opinion, he got it. He scored, he was important, he was creating a lot of dangers all the time, I mean, during the 90 minutes, he was crucial, right, for the attack of Real Madrid. And on top of that, you have to keep in mind, we didn't have to Benzema as a number 9, right, in the starting 11. So it was about Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Asensio, and he was multiplying himself to be everywhere, right? Everywhere, and associating with the other players and trying to score and shooting from long distance. It was great. It was just awesome, right? So that is the number one. Number two, Fede Valverde, he was the MVP of the game, and I'm not surprised at all. This guy is evolving in a way, I cannot recall any other player evolving this fast. I mean, the player is becoming great. It's just becoming great. So Fede Valverde, I don't know where his limit is, man, but I think this is way high. This guy is scoring goals, something that he wasn't doing last season. So it was the only thing he was missing. It was scoring goals, right? Shooting long distance and scoring goals, and he has an amazing shot. So that's great to me. And then on the other hand, you have Vinicius Jr. He scored another goal, 10 goals, right, and a bunch of assists this year. And Rodrigo Goes, he finally scored as well, and he is right now the 21st most with the most goals in the story of the Champions League, which is great because he's just 22 years old, I think, 22, 21 or something like that. I mean, it's just amazing. What these guys are doing with the young players that are doing right now in Real Madrid is just remarkable, right? So to me, that was great, an awesome game, an awesome performance. And although it wasn't against, like I said, a big team, we can rest assured that these guys will give everything they got for Real Madrid. They are succeeding. They are overworking everybody. They are outstanding everybody. And my opinion is very positive about the game last night and about the players. So let's see if we can continue, right, in this pace. And let's see what happens. Here we go. Vinicius 10 goals and 5 assists. Rodrigo 7 goals and 5 assists. Valverde 8 goals and 5 assists so far. So that is just awesome, man. You cannot ignore these numbers because it's just great. And of course, we got a bunch of millions as well. as you know, Real Madrid qualified, and that is like a total of 21 millions just because of the victories plus the money UEFA gives you for qualifying to the next round, which is great. It's just awesome. So next game is against Rayo Vallecano on Monday. We won't have to Toni Kroos, as you know, he was sent off during the last game. So, well, let's see what happens. Oh, and there's a guy who says, I mean, in Spain, Mr. Chip is a guy who is all the time doing odds and probabilities and stats and stuff like that. He's always playing with all this stuff, and he said the most likely to happen, the most probable opponent for Real Madrid is gotta be Liverpool, okay? So there's a bunch of them, but the most likely to happen is that we have to play against Liverpool. We will have to wait a little bit, but in my opinion, that'll be an awesome rival considering Liverpool is not having a great season so far. So let's see what happens. I mean, in my opinion, if you want to win the Champions, right, you have to face off every single, or you have to be willing to face off every single team, right? Regardless if they're having a great season or not, you have to be ready for everything, right? So to me, that'd be awesome, right? Because it's still a good rival, and but if we have to face off another team, that'd be awesome as well. So we will have to wait a little bit more, see what happens, and let's see. I don't know, but I'm very confident about this season in the Champions. So I would say actually that we have so many chances to win these Champions again and revalidate the title. So let's see what happens. Guys, see you in the next one.